Okay, welcome back to another video, guys. Today we're talking about red pill. It's been a while since my last red pill content. We just have to keep grinding. Okay, now this one's about how modern women exploit men. Some guru named Hacks, who I've seen before. I know he's I want to say he's either a psychologist or a therapist, but he's in that realm, and he's also a red pillar, which is an interesting combination. So I can see why he's popular, but I'm interested to see the response to the question that I proposed. So let's get into it.
What do you think the impact will be on this OnlyFans economy that we have long term?
Oh, it's only going to grow. It's only going to get bigger. It's actually just using technology to leverage something that women have been doing for centuries.
Well said. Good point.
So in general, men exchange resources for sexual opportunity and women exchange sexual opportunity for resources. And if either party can get what they want more cheaply, more safely, or more easily than in relationships in real life, they will do so.
Yes.
That's just true. And so what a woman can now do is she can leverage her one sexual opportunity, whereas in the past it was tied more or less to one or maybe just a few men. Using technology, she can leverage that one opportunity to literally millions of men. And it's completely safe to her because she has, a screen between him and her. I remember I watched a TikTok just recently where a woman seems to be flying in first class. Who knows if this is real, but the caption says, "I just realized, how am I going to pay for this flight?" And it cuts to her in the bathroom, and she's kind of like putting her shirt back on. So the idea is she did some sort of like quick OnlyFans streams in the bathroom of the airplane to get the kind of money that she needs to just fund the airplane. And whereas before, if a woman needed something, she would just go like hit up her husband. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I got to powder my nose. We need an extra $100 for this. Now she just has men in general that she can go to for money. And she just gives a little sugar, and the guys will throw dollars on the virtual stage.
Okay, so let's comment. He's pretty much saying that because of not just OnlyFans, but specifically OnlyFans, because of how women can make money easily now by selling their bodies, their sexual favors, by selling them, right? Because of that, and because of how easy it is, they have no need for men, because they have multiple men. They have no need for a single man to take care of them. They can do whatever they want without having to check in with anybody. Full freedom. And while I can understand a part of his point in that that's in fact happening, I don't see the issue. Women are more independent. Let's just ignore OnlyFans. Women are more independent in general. A lot more women are finishing college than men. They have their degrees. They're making money, starting businesses, right? They don't need a guy to fund their life, I mean, don't get me wrong, that whole asking for $100 thing, that just kind of comes and goes with like relationships and stuff like that and being married, but I can kind of see what he's trying to say in this point. What does he want to say after?
And so on some level, it's going to be harder and harder for women to resist that pull because it allows them access, well, kind of. I talk about in my book that there are captains and passengers. And those are actually gender neutral roles. Like women in today's day and age are actually encouraged and supported to be captains, right? But because they're women, they're going to go about their captaincy in different ways. And on some level, what we see as a female captain is how can I load as many passengers onto my boat by leveraging my sexual opportunity. So these TikTok stars, these OnlyFans stars, they're kind of like female captains. They're like, just like a male captain is like, I want to get as many women on my boat as possible because I'm going to use my status and resources. Well, women are selling their sex for money, and they can do so on a grand scale now. And I think that's going to lure more and more, especially young women, into that, and it's going to be very hard for them further down the road.
Well,
okay, so that's a fact. I will say 100% that is a fact. It is a lure. There's a lot of push factors to do it, and OnlyFans itself has a lot of pull factors bringing you in. Agreed. That I agree with. I will also say that when it comes to the passenger and captain scenario, if you're looking at it specifically from like a relationship, dating persona, sure. But if you look at it as I'm the captain, aka I have a business, the gender of the people doesn't matter. Just give me the money, pay for the service that I'm providing as the captain, and then that's it. But when it comes to, I guess, his analogy, he's saying that, oh, now women who are the captains, they can have just all these men, which I get is mostly men that are going to subscribe to OnlyFans. That's facts also. But it's just all these men on her boat, right? And you as a guy, you don't need all those people that she needs. That's how I'm seeing it. But let's see. Let's see how Frank Castle responds.
I'll take it a step further. So I was talking to this girl, and her friend is a nurse anesthetist, okay, making easily somewhere between $100,000-$200,000 per year.
Anesthesias. I probably said the word. I don't know why I corrected. I probably said that shit wrong too.
Still on a sugar site. So I tell y'all a lot of the times sugar sites are good for meeting, different types of girls. Of course, you guys say, oh, you guys go sugar babies, blah, blah, blah. We use sugar sites to date, right? And you can actually meet a lot of successful women. As a matter of fact, it's a lot of lawyers, doctors, etc.
Use it.
They're on those sites to screen out brokies, right? So you can actually, if you're one of these guys that wants a girl that isn't necessarily a brokie, or a girl that you can converse about certain topics, whatever the fuck it is, you'll find them on that site, right? A lot of times their profile is private and they'll contact you. A whole other conversation. Point I'm trying to make is this. She's a professional making a significant amount of money, but what does she do? She's still on there looking for guys to pay her rent, looking for guys to buy her bags, still exploiting, right, her sexuality for some type of benefit. And what I've realized is that regardless of a woman's income, status, etc., a lot of them will still find a way or regress back to sexualizing themselves to get something out of men. And if they can do it without having to necessarily give up the box, they will do it. This girl had a boyfriend the whole time that she was doing it, man. And with the internet, women are basically able to scale their sexuality now at an unprecedented level. And they're able to do it safely now. It used to be you had to be at a strip club and deal with weirdos touching you. It used to be in the Wild West during the gold rush, you had to be a prostitute and risk chlamydia and syphilis to have sex with, Westerners that were, going to the West during the gold rush and, risk getting killed by Native Americans, Comanches, and all this other bullshit. But now women are able to do it through the safety of the internet and home. And you had a key word there, sexual opportunity. AKA, it doesn't actually have to happen. Yeah. Just the guise of potentially happening or the fantasy is enough. That's how webcam succeeds. That's why if you look at OnlyFans creators, half these chicks that make a lot of money, they have a boyfriend or they have a dude that they're with, but they don't show that because it's going to significantly affect their ability to collect revenue.
I'd also like
that's
to add
true.
as well that
that's not it's not false. He's right. They do. A lot of the, Amarif is honestly the best example. Amarif has so much money. She's such a millionaire. I was watching a video on a site that I'm not going to name, but it was a explicit site, and she was there. She has a jerkmate ad, and I'm gonna have the picture right here to prove it to you. She has a jerkmate ad. You see what I'm saying? Yes, that's how they sell themselves. That's how a lot of these Twitch streamers also sell themselves by, we don't have a boyfriend. Let me get in all these desperate men who want to follow me, pay me money. And yeah, I agree. That happens. It does happen. No one can say it doesn't happen. Now let's see how Fresh takes it a step further.
That these girls that do OnlyFans pretty much, they want love too. Just that on some level, they have attention at their beck and call. And it kind of has a placebo effect because it kind of gives them that oh, you know what, I'm getting all this attention, but missing the love aspect. But the problem is, once you go down this path of OnlyFans, the guys that they actually want don't want them. So it's a cycle of meeting guys, getting smashed, getting tossed back to the dating pool, and I can only imagine how depressed they're gonna be when they get older. Yeah, because it's gonna be even harder.
Yeah, I get.
That's you see what I'm saying? The red pill has good points sometimes. That's a good point as well. Ultimately, yeah. Because a lot of men don't want to date women that are OnlyFans. I, for fun, asked some coworkers of mine this question about whether they would marry someone with OnlyFans or not, or even date someone with OnlyFans. And a lot of them were like, no. Honestly, I think I was the only one that said maybe, but a lot of them were like, no. So it's understandable. I get it. And it must be tough to get that freedom, right? That's the thing. When Myron was making all those comparisons, about the risk. Like if you're a stripper, you have to risk people touching you. If you were in the golden age, you have to risk syphilis and diseases and stuff. If you're a OnlyFans model in this day and age, you have to risk never finding love. And I know it's very nuanced, very different from the other two examples, but that's fair. No? The ones that have the boyfriends that come into it, okay, that's different. But the ones that go into it solo actually make their career, and then they want to find love. Yeah, it's gonna be hard as hell. Riley Reid, a freak. She's a freak. But because of that status, right? She's not. I don't want to say that. Because of her status, there is a high difficulty in her finding love. I don't think it's impossible. Please never say never. But the difficulty is very high. And she's expressed it. So, good point so far by these guys.
Prediction, and I'd love to get your take on this. I have a prediction that we already have a multitude of women suffering from mental illnesses of anxiety and, depression and withdrawals, whatever the fuck it is.
Nearly every woman I personally know is on psychiatric medication.
Wow. Bro, that's crazy.
Wow. I predict, and I said this on another episode, but I'm going to say it one more.
Either he doesn't know that many women, or he only knows a certain amount. Every woman? It's because his profession. It has to be. That's just... Yes.
Regular ass girls that have huge audiences, enormous amounts of attention. They're getting contacted on the internet all the time. They're almost like pseudo celebrities, right? Maybe not to the level of Britney Spears, but they're getting damn near the same amount of attention that she got 20 years ago. You're telling me that that's not going to affect them mentally? That they're not going to be dancing around in a fucking thong with knives and shit like that in the next 20 to 30 years when they hit the wall and they're no longer able to elicit the same attention they did because now the new younger girls on the block are getting all the attention? I genuinely think we're going to have a mass increase in psychiatric medication being prescribed to young women or older women now at that point.
I agree with everything
I don't disagree.
you guys have just said, and I think that we have to be very... Let's go talk a little bit more about what attention is. It's not just eyeballs on you. It is a rush. Like, I remember that from my days as an actor. It's like when you walk on stage and the lights are on you and the whole audience, hundreds of people are quiet and they're focused and attentive to whatever you're doing. It is an emotional, exhilarating experience.
Yeah.
And I know women who won't, like, they're professionals, they're in relationships, they'll keep stripping. They'll keep doing things on OnlyFans because I think they miss that rush.
Yeah.
I miss it sometimes. It's like I don't miss being an actor, but I miss performing because it's really like no other experience in the world. You don't even get it here. Like, I know that there's nearly 10,000 people watching us, but they're out there.
Yeah.
You know, it's like to have that living, breathing attention. It's not just notoriety.
Can't replicate
it's
that.
an emotional euphoria.
We saw recently Joe Smith and his wife, right? And he married her, and she kind of stopped the behavior of, the porn scenes and the, stripping stuff. And the moment things slow down, what does she do? Go right back to it. But this time, on OnlyFans. So you're right, man. That rush, that actual, like, I want to say, level of, like, attention, it's hard to find that anywhere.
Yeah.
So it's scary.
Yeah, and I think women getting it at an unprecedented level on a mass scale, right? It's going to make them go crazy. I mean, there was this one woman, I forget her name, Mo, maybe if you could remind me. We talked about this with Rollo Tomasi.
Model?
She was a model.
Older.
She was Playboy, Playmate, whatever. She was dating a rock star, etc. She's like in her 50s or 60s now, right? And unfortunately, Caucasian women tend to age pretty poorly. She's way beyond her great years.
Milk.
Yeah, it's spoiled, definitely. But she was hot back in the day. She's literally like posting Instagram posts about like, oh, I'm invisible now. This sucks, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, welcome to being a fucking guy.
I
like,
know, we
holy
feel.
shit. But it's like she can't like handle it. Like she's literally posting pictures of herself crying on the thing. Like, I don't know how to handle this, blah, blah, I'm invisible now, blah, blah, all this other shit. And I'm like, wow. And this is a girl that experienced a fraction of the attention and validation that modern women are experiencing now. And here's the other thing, too. I don't know if you guys, those documentaries that came out like a year or two ago on social media and how they purposely make it to make you addicted to the likes, that even the way they put the the graphics on the app, when you get a notification or you get a new message or whatever, they design it in a way to keep you coming back. This is why, man, I can't tell you how many times we've seen girls lose their Instagrams or whatever it may be. They freak out.
Yeah,
they literally lose their mind. They don't even make money on it. There's not even a business on there. But they lose their fucking minds because that addiction, that dopamine hit, when people like your posts or people comment or people send you messages or validate your behaviors,
It's a real thing.
it's huge for them.
You know, it's scary.
Yep.
So there's a guy in LA.
That's true, though. Everything that they've been saying right now has been true. Yeah. Social media has a huge grasp on people these days. And I don't even just mean adults. I mean just kids, TikTok, everything, right? There's a huge hold that social media has. And it's because it's been integrated in our society. I knew the minute that CNN started reposting or talking about tweets that Donald Trump has said, as relevant as they are, don't get me wrong, but I knew once that happened, social media took over. Like, social media already took over, but social media really put its foot down once mass media decided, okay, we can take tweets, we can utilize these tweets as content for whatever our purposes are. So if you have young women, I mean, honestly, this could apply to men, but we're talking about women. If you have young people being celebrities, doing these things, hitting fame, you will see them easily crash. And a lot of the people that, you know, may need medicine probably will never get the medicine, because a lot of these people do break, and who knows what happens to them. Social media has destroyed and corrupted a lot of people. So it's been very sad to see. But actually, there is no but. They just made great points. A lot of good points. So that was the video. I honestly expected to be against them, but I think this video is very revealing on the nature of this generation. They were very correct about this generation. So all that being said, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. And this is Tsunami shining out. Peace.